Look like an IG model. Walk with a waddle. Put some... How the fuck that shit go? Look like an IG model. Walk with a waddle. Body shaped like a Coke bottle. Pussy stay on full throttle. Love it when I swallow. Pussy real tight like a swaddle. Fucking men want.
So the thing is, Europe did steal African fairy tales, and then they lied about the thievery in the most racist way possible. Here we go. This book is called African American Folktales. It is the most comprehensive African and African American folklore fairy tale book I've ever seen. In the 20th century, when someone pointed out that, you know that Cinderella story? It's actually from Africa. A European folklorist said this: "One thing is plain. A naked and shoeless race could not have invented Cinderella." Now let's be clear here. He didn't say that there's no proof. He didn't say that the proof was bad. No. What did he say? He said that Africans were dumb and there's no way they could have possibly created such a great story as Cinderella. Little Red Riding Hood, Hansel and Gretel, Cinderella, Princess and the Frog all originate from Africa, not Europe. So when people say Tiana blackwashed Princess and the Frog, no, sweetie. Princess and the Frog whitewashed an African fairy tale. Stay classy, San Diego.
I said this once and I'm gonna say it again. I'm not giving no homeless white person no money. How you gonna steal somebody's country and then be homeless in it? Maybe y'all need to go steal another one. Oh, white people suck. Y'all suck.
I have a question for my ethnic girls, black girls, ethnic girls that played with white Barbies. When you were younger, did you give a fuck that your Barbie was white? Because speaking for me, you couldn't tell me that me and Barbie did not look alike. Her blonde hair, blue eyes did not look like me and my black ass. Nonsense. Even the Disney princesses, nothing talking about the representation. It never stood out to me until adults pointed out that I didn't look like them. Because you couldn't tell me and Cinderella was in Step Into the Ball together. Like, Prince was trying to choose between both of us, but I let her have it because it was her story. Like, when I was younger, I was Cinderella if I wanted to be. I was Snow White if I wanted to be. I was Rapunzel if I wanted to be. Motherfucker, Mulan if I wanted to be. With the dolls, I was playing with my dolls, no problem. A lot of black girls are playing with their dolls, no problem from my perspective. But if a white girl had like a little black doll and she was just playing with it, motherfuckers would be like, oh, why is your dolly so dark? Do you want a lighter one? Like, mind your business. Sometimes people only say shit to start a problem. Like, you point out shit about people that they weren't thinking about before, and now they're thinking about it. When you should have just shut up in the fight.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root, black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
You said that your people have been fighting for 400 years.
Man, your peoples too.
So I just want you to explain what you mean by that.
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all all know what I'm talking about, man. Don't sit up here and try to bait and not know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what the fuck I talk about when I say these things. Your people too.
Explain it. Not everybody knows what you're talking about.
Radio Raheem, I don't have to explain what's understood, man. You know what I mean by that. You know what I said by that. I ain't gotta go further. And if anybody don't understand that, then God be with them. Go look up the history. Go look up the history. Shit, don't everybody believe in Google? Go Google that shit. See what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, man. You know what, I dare you to sit up there and say, explain. You know what I'm talking about, man. He's fighting people. You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day. To this day. You just sit here, you don't know what I'm talking about?
I mean, you knew this was coming. Don't act like you didn't know this was coming. But anyway, things you didn't learn about Black History Month, Part 1. So before the Civil War, some psychiatrists diagnosed slaves with what they called drapetomania. What drapetomania is a mental illness in which the slave has a strong desire for freedom and a tendency to try to escape. So in order to treat it, they would either cut off one foot or both feet of the slaves in order to prevent them from escaping, because then it would rid them of this irrational desire. However, because they were cutting off the feet of the slaves, they now no longer had resale value. And because of this, it would cause the slaves to lose all of their value to the slave owners, and they were killed immediately after, every single time.
Do y'all know Sidney Belair? She was crucial to the Haitian Revolution. She was born a free person of color, but she still had some restrictions, so she said, you know what, nah, let's get France out of here, yo. I'm tired of this. At age 15, she was married and then fought in the war for 6 years. With Toussaint Louverture being general, he promoted her twice to sergeant, then lieutenant. When Dessalines was the new general, he called Senit the Tigress of Haiti because she was so fierce and forward-thinking. Eventually, she was captured. By law, they had to kill a woman by decapitation. But because she was a queen, a soldier, a gangster, she said, nah, fam, kill me like you did my husband. Kill me like a real man. So she ordered a firing squad, and she gave the orders, and before she died, she said, liberty, no slavery. The Haitian government saw her as a hero, so she was put on their currency. Some scholars argue that she was the blueprint for Harriet Tubman's freedom fighting, and yet Harriet Tubman is still waiting to get on some paper.
Some of your white people in my comments be like, oh, if the roles were reversed, if a white person did this, would be racist. Why involve race in everything? Blah, 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 blah. Bitch, shut up. Let me explain something to you. Okay, let me explain. Some white people and black people, the N-word, cultural appropriation, blackface, and like that. Now, we can't steal culture because you guys don't have culture. There is nothing like whiteface. It's not a thing. And cracker, that's my favorite snack. So there's nothing we can do that can actually meet up with you guys. So if we come on TikTok to make fun of you guys and just say something about you guys, and you guys say if the roles were reversed, that doesn't make sense.
This 9-year-old slave descendant became so wealthy the state declared her white. Her name is Sarah Rector, and she was born on an Indian territory in Oklahoma. If you didn't know, they were Native Americans who owned slaves just like white Americans. Her parents were African descendants who became members of the Creek Nation after the Civil War through the Treaty of 1866. Wait, this is where it gets really interesting. Because of the Treaty of 1866, roughly 600 black children were granted land allotments, and Sarah Rector was personally granted 160 acres of land in Oklahoma. This land was, of course, considered inferior and fertile soil, not suitable for farming, with the better land being reserved for white settlers and the other members of the tribe. So how did Sarah Rector become wealthy? Look out for part 2.
You better take yourself right to class, or your mama whoop that ass. You gonna be grounded for a week. Ain't no Fortnite, capiche?